My big theme over the last 6 months, and I've been saying this over and over, if you're just an SPY or in the NASDAQ and you think you're diversified because you're in an index fund, you're not. Because I believe the US is going to go flat for the next decade. It doesn't matter how good the company is. If the broader market is registering multiple contraction, you can't outrun it. So I have been massively transitioning my US holdings into Asian, European, and also the only companies I invest in have at least 50% of their business abroad, because I think the US is about to go into a 10 or 15 year down cycle. But I think the rivers are about to reverse in terms of capital flows, and we're going to see a massive outflow of capital. And the market I like the most is Europe, because if you ask anyone about Europe, they just roll their eyes and go, oh, no, they're fucked. It's a museum. It's overregulated. That's when you invest, is when something's been left for dead. There are really good companies in Europe trading at single-digit PEs. In terms of public stocks, I'm going to be almost entirely out of the US market within 3 or 4 months.
I made a video before about Theo Von, the comedian, talking to Galloway. They mentioned Bitcoin jokingly. Theo Von says that he lost $2,000 to Bitcoin. He's sick of people like me who talk about Bitcoin every day because he lost that $2,000. And all I said at the time is that if he hodled his Bitcoin, he would have made money instead of losing $2,000, because you buy Bitcoin for long term, not short term. And of course, Galloway didn't object. He didn't investigate Bitcoin. He probably is not well, he didn't do his homework when it comes to Bitcoin. That's why he doesn't mention it. Because if you are going to say capital is going to outflow from America, maybe to Europe or Asia, then you might be missing the biggest outflow of capital, which is going to take place in the future, from traditional assets to digital assets, and namely Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the ultimate digital asset. Of course, the United States government recognized that when Donald Trump signed the Bitcoin strategic Bitcoin reserve, and they said basically that Bitcoin is digital gold. And so what I do think is going to happen, maybe he's right, maybe the US market is gonna go down in the future. But why would you want to take the risk with the European markets or the Asian markets? Why don't you buy the ultimate asset? The ultimate asset that exists in the digital space. If a millionaire from Japan buys Bitcoin, you are going to benefit. If a billionaire from Europe or Russia or Africa or China or anywhere in the world buys Bitcoin, you are going to benefit. But if you put your money in European companies or Asian companies, of course, companies, they have a lot of counterparty risk. You don't know what's going to happen to those companies. You don't know if some other company somewhere is going to pop up and destroy that company. I mean, DeepSeek came out of China. It's completely crashed the American stock market for over a week. So I don't understand why smart people like Galloway are still not looking into Bitcoin, despite the massive gains it has made over the years. It's the best performing asset in the past decade, and people still ignore Bitcoin. So what I would say is, if you are thinking to transition from the US market into the European or Asian markets, maybe you should transition into the digital market or the digital space, and namely Bitcoin, the ultimate digital asset, because it's a commodity. It's not a company. Doesn't have a CEO. There is no team behind it. There is no counterparty risk. If it fails, like if the European companies fail, your money is gone. If the Asian companies fail, or if war breaks out in Asia or in Europe, your money is gone. But Bitcoin is international. It's global. It's neutral. It's just sound money, and it's going to keep going up forever. So why would you want to transition to another riskier parts of the world when you can go to the digital space, which is global, and anything good that happens anywhere in the world is going to benefit you? And of course, if something bad happens anywhere in the world, it's going to affect the price of Bitcoin. It will dip, but it's going to bounce back for sure, because it happened more than once. So yeah, if you are thinking to transition from the US market, maybe you should transition into Bitcoin. Even the United States government thinks that Bitcoin is digital gold. So maybe you should listen to the US government. If you don't want to listen to me, BlackRock also is buying a lot of Bitcoin. A lot of public companies are now buying Bitcoin. So maybe you should consider buying Bitcoin as well. So that's all I have to say in this video. Let me guys know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy what you are seeing or what you are hearing. And send this video to a friend or two. And see you in the next one. Take care.